This visual arts experience is 4 weeks lesson, and students in year 3 will engage in the activities of creating story characters by using natural materials. This activity is related to the Australian curriculum version non-visual art outcome in year 3. Students use visual conventions, visual art processes, and materials to create artworks that communicate ideas, perspectives, and meaning. Students also explore where, why, and how visual arts are created or presented across cultures, time, places, and other contexts. In 4 weeks of the visual arts activities, there are 4 key points that I will focus on: art-specific pedagogy, safety consideration, strategy for teaching diverse learning, and classroom organization. This video will be demonstrate a short sections of teaching process in second week. Firstly, in the beginning of the lesson, teacher explained to students the 4-week lesson plan of visual arts so that students will clearly understand the goal and the schedule. So for the visual art lesson today, we keep going with our natural material story characters. Do you remember our 4-week schedule? Last week, we have chosen an animal character storybook, and you should have done the description of the storybook on your task sheet as well. Is anyone would like to share which book that you have chosen? Leila, the rhino in the house. Rhino, interesting. What about Jackson? The Wonky Donkey. That's a funny book. I'm glad that everyone has found a nice book. Alright, so today we are going to collect some natural materials in the schoolyard and then come back to a classroom to create your story characters. Next week, we still have time to keep going to create our storybook character. So today we have enough time to collect some more different natural materials. I would love to see you collect some more different colors, shapes, or textures of the natural materials. And in a week 4, we could add some label to describe your character. Then we will have presentation to share your portfolio. In this lesson, I would like to see you use visual convention, visual process, and visual materials to do your job. Okay? Alright, this is your worksheet. Last week, we have done this page to describe your book characters, right? So this week, you need to do this part. You will need to find a photo of your book cover and put it into this part. You can Google the name of the book to find the book cover. Or if you already have the book that you have chosen, you can even just take photo and upload to this part. Easy peasy, right? So, for example, I chose this book, Beth and Kev. So I Google the name to find the book cover and upload it into my worksheet. And today, you need to do this part to create your natural material characters. For creating your storybook characters, you need to collect some natural materials. So we will collect some natural materials from the schoolyard and come back to do your artwork. But what kind of natural materials that we can use for creating our book characters? That's right. Leaf, yep. Branch, yep. Stone and flowers. Correct. So we can use different colors, shapes, and texture to create your book character. And this is what I have done before. I choose the book Beth and Kev, and I use different colors, shapes, and texture to create my storybook character. For using I do, we do, you do in teaching cycle, students engage in visual arts by creating story characters using natural materials. Explain to students the success criteria and the schedule of the lesson before creating the visual art so that students can clearly understand and effectively create their artwork as they engage in activities. Show students various natural materials and invite them to explore the texture, colors, and shapes. Connect to the concept of using these materials to create characters. Strategies for teaching diverse learning. Students may have varying levels of experience with visual arts, so I provide options for students who need support to find a partner with different strengths of peers to engage in the activities and enhance creativity. I encourage students who is talented to enrich their portfolio using different colors, shapes, textures of natural materials. Safety considerations. Communicate safety guidelines and expectations clearly to students before starting the activity. I don't want to see anyone have injuries happen when we collect the natural materials. Classroom organizations. Effective classroom organization is crucial for creating an environment that promotes learning engagement and a sense of community among students. The teacher guides students to sit on the floor with facing the front of the classroom as teacher explaining the lesson and demonstrating to students. And as students engaging in the lesson with exploring natural materials, the teacher gives students instruction to line up with two lines and quietly to walk to the schoolyard without distracting others. Then, set an area for students to collect the natural materials under supervision and give students enough time to explore with natural materials. Last, during activities of creating the natural materials character, the teacher allows students to sit with peers on the floor or sit on their desks. Thank you for listening.